everyone, I just wanted to take a few minutes. As of late, I've been seeing a lot of the similar problems coming through in clients' vehicles that we've already corrected and or ceramic coated or polished and sealed or whatever, and just some little things that clients are kind of fighting. So I wanted to do a supplemental video that works in conjunction with our two-part series on, proper way of washing a vehicle, car wash tips. I'm gonna run through some of the most common mistakes that we're seeing, especially as of late, okay? The first one is just gonna be very, very simple. Please evaluate what you're washing with, okay? The media in which you're using to wash the vehicle, okay? Now we've got a few different options. We've got the 4-pack flat out pads from Shine Supply. Those are amazing. I don't have one handy. We're sold out in our boutique, and the ones that we use for the shop, they're soaking wet, so because we've been using them tonight, and so I don't have one of those handy, but the flat out 4-pack from Shine Supply is awesome. We also carry the Softy series pad from Klin and the normal wash pad from Klin. If you're not using something super thick, super plush, super soft, very, very delicate for your paint, if you're using the same wash mitt that your dad used, from his senior year in high school, please evaluate that. If you're still using the same one from the local auto parts store that you bought a year and a half ago for your last car, please evaluate that. So take a look at what you're washing with. And if you do have one of these really nice wash pads or wash mitts from us, and it's a year old, if it's 9 months old, it might just be time to evaluate that, and it might be time to just replace it, okay? Because they do wear down, especially if you're washing every week or every other week, okay? So that would be something to take a look at. So what you're washing with, okay? Now let's talk about what you're drying with. This is, guys, I gotta tell you, we've been around for 8 years now, a little over 8 years, and for the first few years, we were on a constant search for a really good drying towel. We went through several versions. We found several things we weren't happy with. We'd carry them for a few months and find something better, and carry it for a few months and find something better. 3 years ago, I discovered the Drying Duo Evo from Klin, and this thing, downright obnoxious. I've never seen anything like it to this day. Nothing I've ever used even rivals it, even comes close. We sell this towel in our boutique. We typically stock it in red. Here it is in a dusty blue version. This towel is amazing. The whole point of drying with something thick and overly absorbent like this is if there's any debris on the surface from your wash process, this is gonna pull it up off of the surface and store it away in the microfibers and hopefully lessen the chance of you swirling or scratching the paint. Whereas if you're using something like an old school chamois, there's nowhere for that dirt to go and you're just gonna cause scratches because the dirt's on the surface of the drying media itself. If you're using something cheap with a really low GSM, that's grams per square meter, a really low GSM measurement, or something just chintzy from the auto parts store or Walmart, the towel itself is going to be causing damage because it's not of great quality. I see so many people drying their vehicles still to this day in their driveway with bath towels and beach towels. It's not what those are designed for. They might feel good on your skin, but I can assure you they're not good on your paint. So please evaluate what you're drying with, okay? So there's another tip. The next thing that I want you to evaluate is the towel that you're using for your detail sprays during your post-wash process, okay? This is the Klin Plush Plus. We keep these in stock in our boutique. There's nothing like this towel at this GSM. It's a 550 GSM, if I'm not mistaken. But this is an amazing towel. If you're still using the bulk 50-pack of Costco yellow microfibers to wipe down your paint, I would really encourage you to evaluate that. If you're still buying microfibers from the auto parts store, there might be a couple of rare exceptions that they might keep in stock, but overall those are not great towels. Okay, so whatever you're using for your final wipe down on the vehicle after your wash and rinse, evaluate that towel as well. So overall, I think you can tell one of my main concerns first is what is literally, in the most simple form, what is touching your paint. Okay, so please pay very close attention to that and evaluate that. And again, just like in the wash pads, if you've got Klin Plush Pluses from us and they're maybe a year to 2 years old or 3 years old, just evaluate that. It might just be time to replace them, okay? one of the only other things is I want you to pay attention to how you're washing your vehicle. Okay, so the dirtiest parts of the car are from the waistline down, from the belt line of the car down and at the very back. So your rear bumper, the back side of the trunk, all of that. The aerodynamics of the vehicle, all of the brake dust and the carbon soot from your exhaust is all wafting up in a cloud, and it's landing from physics on the back of the vehicle. So because the lower parts of the car getting all the debris from the wheels and tires, and the back of the car getting all the super gnarly road dust, those are the dirtiest parts of the car, but yet I don't see people emulsifying those areas the way that they should. So during your wash process, you need to be very careful of those areas. During your pre-soak, you need to really load up those areas to try to break as much of that loose as possible. But the most common mistake that I see people making is, let's pretend, I know this is microfiber towel, but let's pretend this is my wash pad, okay? Those are in closed packages right now. So let's pretend this is my wash pad. I see people doing this. They take this one side of the towel, or the one side of their wash pad rather, and they're washing, right? So this is slowly getting dirty. We're okay. We come down here, down to the bottom part of the fender, right? Now my wash mitt is filthy. At this point, I should be flipping my wash mitt over to start fresh. But instead of doing that, I see people coming down here, they get this wash mitt all nasty, and then they take this and they bring it right back up and they keep on scrubbing. And they go over this whole other section. So they just took this door and they swirled their own door from their own grit on the lower part of the car because they weren't paying attention. Do not ever do that. A good rule of thumb just in your head is when you're washing and you go down to the bottom, game over. That side of the wash mitt is done. It's time to flip it to a clean side, come back up top and start fresh, or clean it out, rinse it out, use your buckets and your grit guards, rinse it out, set it aside and grab a clean wash mitt and then keep going. Always go from top to bottom and know that once you get to the bottom, stop. It's time to flip the wash mitt or get a clean one. So I think if you can just pay attention to that, those are some very, very simple things. I know this is not rocket science, but after all the years of doing this, this is still the #1 conversation that I have with people is, where are my swirls coming from? And it's a lot of super tiny, just little things that they're doing that they're working against themselves that are causing these mistakes. So take a look at those things, evaluate your wash media, evaluate your drying media, evaluate your towels you're doing with your detail spray, and moreover, pay attention to the amount of emulsification you're given to the dirtiest areas on the car, and then take a really good inventory on how you're washing your car, and are you taking that grit from the bottom of the car and then just spreading it all over the car. So hopefully this helps. Hopefully this sheds some super basic light on a super basic process, because keeping a car swirl free is very, very easy if you just take 2 seconds to think about what you're doing and what you're using. So happy detailing. Thank you so much for always tuning in, and thanks for listening to me ramble. I know I have a super annoying voice, so we'll talk to you guys in the next video. See ya.